Welcome to this practical, wise practice video for mentoring as legacy. I was in conversation with someone the other day, and they asked me, what are some tips for mentoring someone entering their next 50 years? And I scratched my head and I was thinking to myself, well, I could probably think of things of what not to do. And then I went, okay, give me a bit of time and I will pull together some thoughts and shoot a video and get them off to you. And then I said, well, I might as well shoot that video and put it up so that more than that person could visit and grab a hold of these tips. So it's really about mentor actions for elders to elders. But I wanted to just give you a little bit more of a sense that it's to use these smart mentor actions when supporting elders to elders. And I've got 13 points that I want to share with you. And I want to position it like I usually do in sharing it's about midlife elders moving to next 50 elders. That's a languaging that I am putting out there and linked to this mentoring as legacy program as a whole. And these wise practices that I'm sharing with you, I have used myself and continue to use them, and I put them into very just simple statements that I want to share with you now. So to be able to get this set up, let's take a look at these six to get started. The first one is suggest ideas and let them choose their path. Now, you can suggest ideas because a lot of times a person will say, well, what do you think? What are some things that you would do? And you can suggest some ideas, but you got to make sure that the suggestions, it's open enough is that they have to make a choice. They have to decide from the options that are there what their path is going to be. That's really, really important because you don't want them to come back later and go, well, you told me to do this. That's not where you want to go with that. The next one is to respect the knowledge and experience they already have. Probably that goes without saying, but I just did, is to make sure that you really recognize their knowledge and skills and the experiences that they will share with you. And sometimes you have to dig around a little bit to find out what they are, because some of them persons can be a little on the shy side, or maybe haven't thought about what they would draw from their experiences that would be knowledge and skills that they could put into use now and or use in a mentoring as legacy project. So there's that possibility. The third one is give them space to make decisions. Don't rush them. Um, there's a couple of times in conversations I've had that I had to sort of pull myself back. One of the ways that I do it is I tug on my sleeve of my shirt and I go, oh, hang on, give me some space to play with. And I have to remember is that sometimes I need that space to think. I'm a visual learner. So often I will look off as though I'm looking at my whiteboard and I'm doodling on it to be able to formulate a decision. So give them the space to make their decision. You can always inquire as do you need a bit more time, or is there something more you want to chat about to help them, dig a little deeper or wider, whatever it might be. The next thing is keep advice short and to the point. No long, boring talks and examples. That's not going to help at all. So, when you're sharing your advice, now that's why this is a word that I'm putting here, but I don't necessarily use it in my own vocabulary because I want to give you this caveat is that when you start giving advice and someone picks up on it, they may go, okay, well, he said that or she said that. I trust them enough, they'll go do that, and it doesn't quite work out. You have to frame it as though you're giving them considerations and suggestions so that they can start to formulate their own way of unfolding the story that would make sense for them. Next one is speak about what's going well, not just what's going wrong. This notion of well and optimistic and hope and faith and grace, these words to be able to weave into your conversations and to be able to speak from that perspective. It's easy enough to get into, well, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. But to be able to find the appreciations and celebration in the conversations and to bring that to the foreground is really, really important in your conversations, because often it's easy to slip into that which is not working. I sometimes do it myself. I'm sure you might even do it yourself. And to stay present in that optimistic and hope and faith, that is really joyful and in many ways freeing. There's freedom there for the conversation that you're having with someone. The next one is to remain open to learning from them too. If there's anything that I've learned about mentoring, is that you are going to learn something from the mentee. So in this case, if you're interacting with an older to elder, you will learn something about yourself, about the situation, about them, about community, that it's worth just really being open to that and finding out what people are suggesting and bringing forth into the conversation. Here are the next 7 mentor actions. Pay attention to what they're saying and feeling. Words matter. If there's anything I've learned along the way, words matter. Because through the descriptions and explanations that a person is sharing with you, they are bringing forth their words that have meaning to them, their feelings that go with that, and thus you get access to their hierarchy of values. There's a priority that they live with and from. And if you can pick that up, those words, those feelings, it's sort of like having a key to a treasure chest and being able to open it up and to be able to interact with that person in just wonderful, deep, and richer ways. Avoid criticizing their choices or lifestyle. Please don't get to a point where you're negating what that person is doing for their lives, the way that they're being. There was a conversation I overheard at a cafe. Two siblings, one a little bit older than the other, but the younger one was criticizing their brother. And I was listening in. And I just so much wanted to lean in and to say something about, if you come at it from a different perspective, like I've just mentioned, come at it from their hierarchy of values, connect with them with the words that they're using in their own words, you will get that much farther ahead than sitting there and criticizing. Now, I appreciate, what was I listening into a coffee shop conversation? Well, they were so animated right beside me, it was kind of hard not to until I purposely went, clicked it off. The next one is encourage fun together and enjoy your time. Some simply serious fun goes a long way in conversations. I'm not saying you have to get into deep belly laughs, but oh yeah, I see that in the metaphoric humor and ways to just enjoy sharing a story that just brings that lightheartedness into the conversation is so important. And sometimes one of the tips that you pick up on is, what's a way to have a little bit of fun with the person? And you might say to them, okay, you just shared with me what your feelings are. What color is that? I'm just curious. And you can ask them questions like that just to deepen up your understanding of what they're sharing. Give advice when they ask for it or seem to need it. Now, again, this word advice, just pay particular attention to how you're sort of laying your ideas down for the person. But sometimes they'll ask for it, and that's great, and you can share it. But again, come at it from that suggestions and considerations point of view. But also, you might pick up as they might need something here, And you have to make a call. You have to sort of juggle it and say, no, it's time to share this suggestion, this perspective, and that's okay. Just be alert to how it's landing and see where it takes you. Help them plan what they want to achieve. Now, there's a difference here between need and want. I sort of think of wants are what you request. There's some wiggle room there. When you're sharing about needs, it's what you require. It's sort of steadfast. There's not as much wiggle room there. These are the things that must unfold for you. And being able to help them plan for what they want to achieve, you can start then figuring out which ones of these are actually needs, no longer wants, and you can help the person appreciate what they're planning out for themselves, and therefore give you understanding about how to interact to be able to improve, focus, and strengthen that plan. Make a habit of calling or visiting to check in. Yes, I'm notorious for sending out emails and text messages late. Notorious for being late. I don't know what it is, but I don't pick up the phone. But I'm attempting to bring that more into what it is that I do now and see where people are going, what's happening for them, and reaching out through video. But the notion here is actually start to create a habit, or maybe a better word might be a ritual of connecting with persons and finding out how things are going on, especially if a mentee, that reaching out sometimes in an unexpected way really makes a big difference for that mentee. And also, in a really wonderful way, you get access to some spontaneous insights as well. Last but not least, celebrate their achievements because they're important. Celebrate. Oh, there's a song there, but I'm not a great singer. But celebrate the achievements, to acknowledge that, oh, this is what happened, this is what you've learned, this is where you're going with what you're moving forward with. That is so important. And again, find a way in which to become a celebrant. Is there a way in which you can weave celebration? A few minutes ago, I used the word ritual. Is there some rituals that you can bring forward that are celebratory with those that you're mentoring? Think about it from that perspective as well. Having covered these 13 mentor actions to guide olders to elders, I also want to mention is that these are not all of them. There are more. And you might come up with a couple that you want to add in the comments section below. I certainly appreciate that. And maybe we can get a little dialogue going. So add and make sure you subscribe. There will be more videos, these wise practice videos, and I might come back and take a look at this topic again because of suggestions that were made by you or things that I've come up with. But this is a start, and that's what's important, is to keep putting ideas out there, interpretations, investigations, and seeing where it takes us. So thank you for joining me in this Wise Practice video for the Mentoring as a Legacy program. And I wish you well and take care.